Hello, welcome to Medical. My name is Louie, and I am a junior at Montgomery High School. I am in Filipino 1A. Before we begin, I would like to remind attendees to mute your microphones. Presenters, can you please take a moment to introduce yourselves?
Hi, my name is Michelle. I am an LVN. I graduated from Sweetwater class of 2004.
Hi, I'm Kim. I'm in health information management, and I graduated from Suhai as well from 2012.
And then we have Dr. Kat. It looks like she got disconnected, but she's back in. Dr. Kat, are you here?
Hi there. My videos cannot be working, but I can introduce myself and I'll log off. And I am the owner and physician of the Lulip Health Center, the first holistic wellness center in the USA to promote the fullness of Filipino traditional medicine and addressing a lot of the community concerns with the mental, emotional, physical, spiritual healing through our indigenous knowledge and wisdom. Located here off of the Scripps Ranch off Mira Mesa Boulevard. And such a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you again, guest speakers, for joining us this morning. I'll go back to our student volunteer here to go over some of the questions that he's going to be asking you today.
Wonderful.
Okay, so how has your Filipino culture influenced your career?
Can you hear me okay? Oh, go ahead.
Okay. You go ahead.
Filipino culture influenced my career to be Filipina American, and also having a bit of the Spanish and the Chinese lineage. I was able to really connect with the traditional Chinese medicine to honor that aspect of me. So I am an acupuncturist and herbalist. To be able to present this healing modalities to people in search of natural healing. And then as a Filipina, going back to the Philippines and learning. Uh-oh. What's going on in my thing?
Oh, Dr. Kat, I think we lost you. Are you still there?
Yes. Let me go ahead and log into my cell phone here. I think my laptop is having a crisis moment.
That's okay.
I'll defer to the next person so that I could restart. I'm so sorry.
No worries. Okay, Michelle, go for it.
So just given, it is kind of inherent in our culture that, Filipinos, we do become nurses, but it means a little more for me than that. I have a sister who has special needs, and I just always wanted to make a difference. So that was my motivation, aside from the fact that, we are definitely prevalent in the medical field.
Recording in progress.
Okay.
Can you hear
And
me?
then, yes, go for it, Kim.
Oh, okay. Kind of piggybacking on Michelle's response. Yeah, it is being exposed to the medical field growing up. It sparked my passion in wanting to help people as well. So it was just a matter of finding what I was good at doing from there.
Perfect. Okay, so I also wanted to ask, what are some of the biggest challenges you've had to face in this position?
So maybe we'll go with the order of kind of what we did last round. Dr. Kat, then Michelle, then Kimmy. Dr. Kat, I see you're back in. Does it sound okay?
Yes. So, sorry about earlier.
No, you're okay.
To answer as far as being Filipina, the culture, I really felt called to get back to the land, get back to our indigenous medicine and our indigenous knowledge, and knowledge applied as wisdom. So this next question was, if you could repeat that.
What are some of the biggest challenges you've had to face in this position?
A lot of the work that I do is pioneering work because we are, as I mentioned, the first in the country to offer this fullness of our medicine. As a pioneer, a lot of the work is in dismantling a lot of the colonial beliefs towards our history, our people, our magic, even, and the way in which we see ourselves with nature and connecting with the land. And so I think that the challenges are in the area of the mental frontier. This is really to heal the part of ourselves that we have forgotten. And I think that a lot of um, the challenges therein is that we are still coming to terms with ourselves and knowing ourselves and who we are before we were told what we are, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's the challenges, is mental frontier and pioneering work.
Okay, thank you. Hmm.
So I guess the challenges that personally I had to face was just, breaking the stereotypes just within my field. Again, because there is a lot of us, doesn't necessarily mean we aren't good nurses. And I just wanted to be able to show that in my work.
Thank you.
I do a lot of independent work more so than interaction. So most of my challenging experiences would be the system crashes and connecting with IT for that, but also pivoting to like new assignments so that we could stay productive.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. What do you know now that you wish you knew during your time at school?
So I'll answer. I wish I knew that there is more to the understanding of medicine than what we are taught. So a lot of it is very much, yes, intuitive. A lot of it is also very much in relation to patients. So what I mean to say is not everything is textbook, right? And that there's so much more that is not seen. So this is in the area that we're practicing the Filipino traditional medicine, we're addressing more than 90% or so of reality, which is in the unseen area. And it's a beautiful thing and it's not a scary thing. So that would be something I wish I had learned early on. Um, but it's a joy to now come to that understanding, and it's never too late. So thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, honestly, kind of, going into it, I never thought I would be a nurse. Kind of leaving from high school, just didn't know what I wanted to do, like the world is out there kind of thing. But it's just, giving yourself time to find what you want to do and what fits for you, and not being too hard on yourself when you just don't know off the bat. So that's definitely something I learned.
Thank you for sharing that.
I really wish I knew growing up, like, to follow what I wanted to do and to figure out what I wanted to do. Because after high school, I did spend about 6 years before I found this job, and I really enjoy it um, because it wasn't something that I didn't think I would ever get into, and I found it by what's it called? I never thought about how I would be able to apply what I was good at in my career. I was always taught, or like I was following what everybody else was doing, and I didn't really enjoy it. So the days were kind of just dragging for me during work. But now that I found something that I'm actually good at, which is what I really emphasize, is to take your time to find something that you're actually good at and not what other people are telling you is appropriate to do. Um, then you'll be successful at that.
Thank you so much, everyone, for that. My next question is, what advice do you have for students who want to pursue a career in medical?
So my advice for that is to be open-minded. Be open-minded with other modalities outside of the biomedical model. Um, uh, as you know, for my field, I am promoting holistic integrated medicine, and so as a chiropractor, as an acupuncturist, as a nutritionist, as an herbalist, as a shamanic medicine practitioner, my advice would be to be open-minded, that there is more beyond the biomedical model and the sciences that we currently have. That when we speak of our heritage through Filipino traditional medicine, that the area of the spirituality, the mental, and our relation again with the elements and with nature is something that we need to explore more and not be afraid of. And this is the wisdom of our ancestors who knew all of these things. And I think it would be such a delight to encourage more of our youth to open up to that world, and step into the other side where our ancestors were and how they understood the world. It's still very much relatable today, right? Going back into connecting with the land, eating nutritious food that pre-colonial, right? A lot of it was we have our isda, we have our gulay, and we have all of these healing superfoods to connect back to also the spirituality, right? Not just so much of the religious dogmatic teachings, but going back into the understanding that we first and foremost are spirit. And so all of these things, I would say my advice is to keep an open mind and to explore that. And it will be such a great delight, I think, for many, because it's been not so much promoted, it's been closed down. And in fact, if we bring up the words walang hiya, right, more and more in our time of deconstruction and decolonization, no shame, right? So for the young people, truly live in those words, walang hiya. Go into the depth of our beingness, because we are human, but we are also human beings. So in your beingness, open up to other modalities that are natural healing modalities. Thank you.
Thank you for the advice. Next.
Sorry, what was the question again?
um, The question was, what advice do you have for students who want to pursue a career in medical?
Patience. Definitely have the patience, have the compassion. Don't my recommendation is don't walk in there with just a single kind of a like a narrow-minded perspective of it. Um, just in addition to what Dr. We have to say, it is something that you have to definitely keep an open mind about because the medical field is ever changing every day, and you just have to kind of roll with it. And it's always for the benefit of not just the patients, but ourselves as well.
Thank you. Next up.
My advice is when you're looking for your career is to really find your passion in it. Because it is a broad field. The medical field is a broad field. And I didn't know that until I started exploring more. So don't be afraid to explore it because there are many ways to get there.
Thank you for the advice. So next question is, why did you want to work in the medical industry?
So I'll answer. Initially, I was going to go into some form of the creative arts, so something in the arts. And my parents, coming from medical backgrounds, really had me to, was encouraging me to go into nursing. I knew though for myself that the setting of nursing wasn't for me. And so a lot of soul searching, a lot of prayers, and just really taking up a lot of classes to get me more exposure then led me to chiropractic and acupuncture, so traditional Chinese medicine. Um, and why I got into it was because I felt that there was more to offer in balancing and understanding diseases of the body, and that there was something really powerful about chiropractic that didn't require drugs or surgery, and helping the body to remove that interference along the nervous system, helping that brain, helping balance that parasympathetic, sympathetic, dominant, how the person is living their life, expressing their life through that, was to me very powerful. And what was a sweet thing for me to realize was that bone setting, which in the ancient form of chiropractic and what we called it throughout many cultures and indigenous groups, bone setting was inherent in hilot. And hilot is our, of course, our Filipino traditional medicine. So naturally, I got attracted to that. And then the use of our acupuncture, the use of needles and herbs is actually some of what we call as healers in the Philippines, a medico. So knowing all these ancient practices, really tapping into that, and that's how I got into where I am now.
Thank you. Um, Next person, please.
I didn't really plan to go into the medical field right out of high school. As I said, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So just having to explore and just find my niche. And then conveniently, the medical field is primarily nursing, is where I wanted to be. So it's just a matter of finding what works and what fits for you.
Thank you.
My exposure to it growing up, like my aunt was a nurse, my mom's best friend was my pediatrician. We're both Filipino. And science was also my favorite subject too in school. So that's what led me to wanting to pursue a career in the medical field. And I did try clinical and administrative, and I found myself more into the administrative area.
Thank you. Okay, next question is, what do you like best about your job? Yeah, what do you like best about your job?
What I like, what I love, and what inspires me so much is coming to a wellness center wherein people come in and they not being heard and having experienced all other modalities in Western medicine have not had their concerns addressed, finally get heard, finally get addressed, finally get relief. And I tell you, every week I have to like buy a lot of tissue boxes because every single time at the wellness center, there's breakthroughs, that there's healing, and these tears, right? It inspires me because this is what we're all here to do. We all have a mission. We all have a gift. We all have our own personal medicine to offer to the world and our communities. We're here to love and we're here to support each other in our walks, whatever walks we may be, the struggles, the unseen, the unheard struggles that we don't know about everybody, right? But to be able to support them as they come into the wellness center, this is where I feel the most inspired to see their breakthroughs and to be able, it's such an honor to walk the path with them, and in walking with them as an ally, right, as their cheerleader, that they themselves have the power to heal themselves, that they themselves have the power to break curses in their families, and to be courageous, to inspire also them to be courageous in doing so, because much of everything that we do is a choice, okay? And the choices that we make, we have to live by the effects of whatever choices we make. And so it takes courage to actually be healthy because it's a cultivation, right? And even in our Filipino traditional medicine, the understanding therein is that this is a sacred duty. Health and healing is a sacred duty. So when people come into my wellness center and they're asking for that assistance, and I'm helping and I'm seeing those breakthroughs, it's what I've come here to do. And that I know is my purpose. And there's nothing more powerful than knowing your purpose.
Thank you.
What I love most about my job is definitely the camaraderie. Definitely being able to know that I'm part of a contribution to helping, people just feel better, discovering what it is to help them get better, get well. Yeah.
Thank you.
My favorite part of my job is collaborating with different providers and working closely with different teams to find solutions, um, and being able to be more open-minded about different patients and reading their story and talking to them as well. It really is a good exposure for me because it keeps me on my toes, as well as having having the appreciation for the field and what it does to help our community.
Thank you. Next question would be, what was the most important thing you got out of high school that has helped you now? Um,
I would like to say that in my high school years, I was part of the Academy of Arts. And there was also during that time a health academy, and I actually went into the Academy of Arts instead of the Health Academy. Sometimes I think to myself, gosh, what was that all about? What was the reason? What was the point? Because I didn't even get to experience what it would be to be a part of the health academy, which I think would have been an interesting few years if I had. But honoring that I made the choice to go into the art academy, I'm more appreciative that it opened my view of how to express myself through different mediums of art. And still, right, I found myself through the healing arts eventually. But I would say that one of the best memories I had was leadership. And that was being a part of so many organizations, being president, vice president, and really leading. That has shaped a lot of who I am today as a leader of the community. It was so funny because in high school, I was literally a part of every club except for the Black Student Union Club because I wasn't Black, and the Irish Club because I wasn't white and Irish. But I was literally a part of every club in my high school and always in leadership. So I would say that leadership has, in high school, throughout high school, has really helped develop me as a leader today.
Thank you so much. Next person.
One club in particular that well, not one, but a couple clubs that helped out was first one being part of our Asian International Association back in high school, and then also Academic League. I was a real trivia buff. I loved like just finding out knowledge and learning new information, and I kind of transferred that over to my career in general. Like learning new things is just part of our everyday, and that definitely helps like for our well-being. So I mean, we're not only the patients get to learn, but we get to learn as well. So that definitely had an impact on it.
Thank you for sharing. Next.
What I learned in high school, I was in the ROP program the last 2 years. I think it was the last 2 years. And I graduated with the medical assisting certificate. So it was really good to take advantage of being in a club too, because you have different teachers too that also have other careers, and they have a lot of knowledge in that in different fields of the medical field. So it was nice to pick their brains about it.
Thank you for sharing. Okay. Are there any questions? Yeah.
Yeah, I would love some questions. Ask away. Ask away about what it is that I do with Hilot. Ask away about what breakthroughs we've had with young people and depression. So I would love questions. Bring it on.
Okay. Some of the questions are, for example, I'm very interested in the medical field, and I was wondering, like, is it really like that long process that everyone says, exaggerated, like 11 years or like, 15 years? Is it really that long of a process?
So for my doctoral degree and also my degrees, licenses to practice chiropractic and acupuncture, it is, and even to this day, I will say this, that it's like I'm just wetting my feet, because there's so much. I will speak for the traditional Chinese medicine. There's so much breadth of knowledge in there. It is really if you want to understand more about the body physiology beyond just the anatomy, but the physiology, and then you add to that, right, is the aspects of what causes diseases what brings as well, the opposite of that is how to cultivate health. It's a lot of study. And as a doctor, and I'm sure for other healthcare professions, every year there's a requirement of you to maintain your education. So continuing education units, we say CEUs. And I'm always constantly in learning and constantly updating and always what is the current information. So if you do want to go pursue a doctoral degree, remember this, that the doctor is the highest form of teacher. So you really are in mastery of your field. So if you're going to, for instance, I speak for chiropractic, it does take more than 10 years. You factor into that the prerequisites, right? A lot of the prerequisites in sciences and in anatomy and biology, okay? But I will say this, that if you are all about higher learning, go for it. We need more holistic healthcare delivery in our communities. And we definitely need to address a lot more of our diseases in our community through addressing nutrition, lifestyle, and holistic modalities. So welcoming everybody here that wants to go into kinesiology majors, chiropractic majors, acupuncture majors, nutritionists, herbalists, and so forth. Yeah.
Thank you so much for the advice. Anyone else want to answer that question?
I'm just being willing to have the patience. Medical field is definitely something that will require patience, time, and a lot of coffee.
Thank you.
I would add to that, for those young people, we do offer at the Louisville Health Center internships. So student interns can come in and be able to do a 4-month or 6-month program with us, that they can see what it would be like to be in these fields that I'm in. So for those that are curious about what bone setting is and what the body is as an electrical force through the use of acupuncture and how to correct that flow of energy and energy healing, right? You are more than welcome to reach out to the Louisville Health Center and express internship positions if you're wanting to go to the healthcare field. For those specifically who are of Filipino lineage that want to do hilot and learn more about our Filipino traditional medicine, we offer to them apprenticeship. So just so you know.
Thank you.
I think depending on what you want to do, it will take long, but it once you stop focusing on how long it is going to take, because the years are going to pass by anyways, that's why I emphasize being passionate about what you do or finding something that you're good at, it'll fly.
Very true. Thank you so much, everyone. Another question I wanted to ask is, what steps could I take to start leaning into the medical field, like classes or volunteer-wise or anything?
Definitely look into hospitals if you want to volunteer. They well, I mean, COVID did change up a lot of things, but considering we're starting to open up a little more again, there used to be a lot of students that would be volunteers. So definitely look into that. We are definitely open to having more volunteers, definitely more young people into the medical field who want to pursue that. So that's one thing. Community service if you can. Just reaching out there and not being afraid to just say, hey, what can I do?
Thank you so much.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Volunteering at the hospital does open up a lot of doors because there's so many departments in there as well. So even if you don't know where exactly you want to be, it could lead you to another department. I started out with doing lab work and volunteering at the Lilly Biotech Lab at UCSD, and I found myself there's like different departments to that. There's like the molecular department, there's microbiology. So it can lead you from one thing to completely another. So definitely take advantage of volunteering and looking for internships. There's always internships available as well. And also at your school, they should have resources as well in your classes, especially with clubs. I remember, I forgot which club it was, but they always posted resources and where you can, different clinics that you can go to.
Thank you so much. Dr. Catherine, would you like to give me some advice on that?
So yes, my advice is to do internships, and we do, as mentioned, have the hospitals for volunteering, for just getting out there at events, as was mentioned. And I also was sharing about internships and apprenticeship at the Lewis Health Center for more on holistic healthcare modalities. The study of anatomy would be a great start, right? If you're going into medicine, you would have to know where placements are in your body. So that's a good start as far as classes. Another one is in the sciences like biology. So taking up classes that are in biology, anatomy, and physiology. I would say if you're asking more about taking classes at a college. So those would be great to have as a foundation, because if whether you go into Western medicine or Eastern medicine, those are prerequisites.
Thank you so much, everyone, for the advice. Um, One last quick question I wanted to ask is, um, how does it feel being in the medical field, helping so much people almost every year, every day? Like, how does that feel? Does it feel exciting?
Yes, absolutely. What I was sharing earlier was when you see people's breakthroughs and you know that you did your part to contribute as a cheerleader, as a coach, as a counselor, as their doctor. It's such a gratifying feeling that you've helped a soul, right? As we are all souls, and through love, um, you get to feel also your contributions in such a larger scale, because we have to first remember that we are love, and the medicine that we have is loving, and that when we step into that highest vibration of love, anything is possible. And so I would say it's the most awesome thing ever to see a person walk when they had struggle, when they were using a cane to come into your office to deliver that chiropractic adjustment, remove that interference in the spine, and then see them walk out. Okay, so they walked in with a cane and they walked out. I even had a patient that was carried, a female patient carried by her male friend because she could hardly walk as well. And for her to walk out with her own two legs, okay, that is love. And that's what we all should remind ourselves is give love to everybody, give love to the world, and be that loving vibration.
Thank you all, Kimmy, Dr. Catherine, and Michelle, for taking time from your busy schedule to talk to me. Attendees, thank you for coming to this session. Please refer to the program at Yeah, tinyurl.com, Magkaisa 2021 for the link to the next session. Thank you all.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.